So Need for Speed Shift has been in development for about 18 months. The project actually started out of the passion for racing cars and driving cars. And when we decided to go a little bit more authentic with the Need for Speed brand, I quickly volunteered to build a game with my racing background and having, being a race driver and all. And I met with a team in London, the Slightly Mad Studios team, and they showed us a tech that we loved and that we figured we could build a pretty spectacular game based on. So we spent the first, good 6 months of development actually focusing on the core elements of a racing game, which is, how it feels to be in the car, how it feels to race and drive the car, and what happens to you when you crash, what happens to you when you brake, what happens to you when you take over or get taken over by other cars. When you play the game, that's the first thing you'll notice. Everything from the in-cockpit view to, head movement under braking or under crashing, or, camera blurring when you crash or when you go fast, so that you focus your eyesight on the road instead of on other things around you. Sound, obviously. AI that adapts to how you drive and that come back at you if you hit them, or that actually make mistakes, or that crash out, or they hit each other in front of you. And we basically wanted to achieve a game where the AI never appear to do the same things twice. Everything in the cockpit kind of works. All the dials work, the speedometer, the odometer, the fuel pressure, fuel meter, everything is working. You can look around in the cockpit and you'll see, cars on your right, cars on your left. You'll see, small things like the leather looks like leather and the carbon fiber looks like carbon fiber. So it's highly detailed, as you've seen in screenshots. We've applied a lot of G-forces to the body and the camera. So when you brake, your head goes forward. If you crash, your head gets swung around. The great thing about the tech that the Slightly Mad guys have is that if you build a Porsche as an example, where the engine sits in the back, it has a very typical way of behaving. So what the guys do, they plug in a bunch of data, and then that basically tells you the engine is here. Here's the distance between the wheels. The weight is this. And the brake bias should be this, and so on. And then that's kind of the first step in the raw data. Once you have that in, you then start playing with the numbers and start, basically tuning it. And very quickly, from raw data, you can assess whether this is going to be fun or not to drive. So the underlying tech helps us to iterate on cars instead of trying to get them somewhat right. We get them somewhat right immediately, and then we can work on fine-tuning them to perfection, basically. It's not open world. It's track-based to a large extent. You'll see famous tracks around the world. You'll see some fictional tracks, as you've seen today, the London track that we have, which is based in a real location, but there's no F1 track in London, unfortunately, but we made one for you. So in this particular race mode, at least, that's what we have. We have other race modes that we can't talk about today, but they will be, different types that once you see them, you realize that this is actually more than just a track-based racing game. There's a pedigree to what a Need for Speed game should be. So like, you want to have licensed cars. There should be, obviously, tuning is in the game, basically all of them, and customization to your cars, changing body kits, changing liveries, tuning your car, putting a different engine on it, and those kinds of things. And when you see it, you'll realize that it looks better than anything in the industry today. Yeah. And then the second thing I think you notice is the driver experience and how different it actually is. It's actually hard to talk about it and not show it, but once you see that, I think that's what people are going to talk about. Need for Speed Shift is coming to Xbox 360, PS3, PC, and PSP in the fall of 2009.